This Thursday, millions of Americans will gather around the television to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There will be singers, dancers, and performances, usually bookended by Santa to welcome in the Christmas season. This year, though, there will be a change. Officials decide to bring in a caboose with a caboose who always shows up to work overweight, loves those who work on a pole, and somehow shows up even if no one asks, especially at the trade deadline. So congratulations to James Harden on his new position. Welcome to the Moonstamp Cast. This is the Your Generation Doesn't Understand the Value of Hard Work uncle to my coming alone again aunt, Brian. Brian, how are you?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's Thanksgiving week, so I'm ready to go destroy my stomach and the end of the week. Speaking of destroyed, Astros may have destroyed their farm system for a guy who started 10 games for them.
Yeah, Angels signed him for 3 years, $63 million, and that trade, Loperfito's gone and Will Wagner's gone, who, if the Bregman thing doesn't work out, hey, guess what? We don't have a replacement at third base right now, because those were probably going to be our top two people to go over there, but alas, here we are.
Well, I saw with Bregman, they made an offer to Bregman. It was $156 million for 6 years, which he turned down because he wants at least $200 million.
He wants
I don't
200.
know. Yeah. I don't know the year value for him because I know Soto's looking for like 12 to 14 years, which is another thing entirely. But yeah, there's no way he was going to accept that. Again, streets are saying Tucker's gone anyway. So this does not look favorably on. I mean, Dana Brown made a quick decision. He gambled really quickly in the hopes that this would bring the Astros the championship. Wasn't going to happen this season probably anyway, because there were just teams that were better and the Astros were not looking as sharp as they had been the entire season. So Dana Brown gambled, did not pay off at all. And now we're kind of in this weird limbo position where, oh shit, we may not have a third baseman coming into the season. Or we may have to quickly get a third baseman coming into the season.
Yeah. I think that was just our first lowball offer just to see where his head's at and to see what his response was. And his response was 200. I think they're going to try and settle around 175 for 6. I think they've got a number in their head and they're not going to flinch too much on it. So I think this is a pretty big nail in the coffin that Bregman's going to walk.
Yeah.
But there's always hope, but not outlook bleak.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be another team who comes in and gives Bregman a lot more money than we're willing to offer him. And you can hope and pray that the time spent in Houston will make him go, okay, I'll take a lower offer. But kind of given that it seems like the train may have left the station on the Astros dynasty a bit. The train actually totally left. We don't have the train's not full of oranges anymore. It's looking, I'm a little weary of saying that we'll make a better offer just because I think he's going to go somewhere else. Honestly, that's my honest assessment of the situation.
He's got the Altuve bump because Altuve went public saying, hey, we need to bring him back. We need to figure it out, bring him back. But that's only going to go so far. Like I said, I think it's going to cap out at $175 million for 6. And that's where we're probably going to stop being anything higher than that. We're just going to say, all right, let him walk because Crane doesn't want to back up the truck. Crane does not want to go over the luxury tax. That is something he's not willing to do. And then I don't know, man. That's such a huge bump. And the Dodgers proved it this year that you can buy a team. The Mets proved it. You can buy a team. The Yankees proved it. You can buy a team. This is the direction baseball is going, and that is buying teams.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost looking like soccer in some sense where if you have enough money, you can win. That's basically it's pay to play. Actually, just like soccer in America at the youth level. So, whatever. Just quickly, Juan Soto also apparently is looking for 12 to 14 years, $45 million a year, plus an opt out in the third or fourth season.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, that's a lot to ask for a team. I mean, he's a good player, but that's maybe that's kind of more than Ohtani got in some sense.
And Ohtani's a two-way player too. So.
Yeah. So speaking of Ohtani and Judge, unanimous MVPs, makes sense. They were the best ones in the league the entire season on their respective leagues. Good for them. Whatever. Just quickly, by the way, for people listening, we're recording this on Tuesday because we're going to release it Wednesday. So you're listening to this on Wednesday, probably. It's Thanksgiving. So if things are out of date, oopsie. College basketball, though, to move on quickly. We are eating good right now. The Maui Invitational is going on. It does feel weird without Bill Walton there this year, just because he had the most fun of anyone. But the Maui Invitational is always fun. They're back at, was it Lahaina Civic Center, wherever they usually go throughout the year. It was destroyed. It was damaged by the Maui fires, but they're back. It feels nice. Roy Williams is in a Hawaiian shirt. He got charged on the bench. Very fun time. But we are eating good right now. There have been 3 games that just rocked. There were games beforehand, but I'll kind of get into these real quickly. Memphis beat UConn. Dan Hurley cost his team the game, kind of. I don't know if you watch Brian at all, but this is what happened. They went to overtime. By the way, I love Memphis basketball with a passion. They were in the AAC with UH versus Memphis games always rocked. They were hard to watch for me because I was very scared the entire time. They play physical ball. Penny Hardaway's done a good job with the team. If every, you know how the joke is, if every Houston football player stayed in Houston would win a championship every year for football. If every East high school, I think that's the high school Memphis player, stayed in Memphis, they'd win a championship every year. Penny Hardaway's doing the best with what he's got in the AAC, which is Conference USA 4.0 at this point. But it was a fun game to watch. It was a physical game. Dan Hurley cost his team with a tech at the end. There was a questionable over the back foul. It was quite, I watched it and I was like, oh, that seems like a good rebound, but I'm not going to question it. Whatever. It was, I think 90 or it was 92-92 at that point, maybe. Dan Hurley just went off on the ref and got teed up, it was 4 free throws at the end there, which, his team lost by 2. So maybe theoretically Dan Hurley cost them the game. I've seen, that he maybe called the ref a fucking idiot. I've seen another word used that I cannot repeat on the podcast.
What's it start with?
R.
Oh.
Yeah. I've heard that's what he called the ref, and that's what the ref finally was just like, I'm teeing you up real quickly. Which again, for all of Dan Hurley's antics throughout his entire career, I'm glad someone finally teed him up for something. Moving on quickly, Auburn, Iowa State played a fantastic game. Auburn, this might be the best team Bruce Pearl's ever had. I'm okay to say Auburn just ranked them number 1. They're better. I think they're the best team in college basketball right now. They look great. They play great. They played 2. Probably the top 2 no, Kansas there too. I can't forget Kansas. 2 of the top 3 Big 12 teams, and they've won each time. It's been a close game, but they've won, and they won.
But Jordan, that's an SEC team.
Yeah, Brian. I'm not taking it back. It's only Auburn. Everyone else can suck a dick. Until further notice.
Alabama lost big.
Alabama lost big. Which is good because I don't like Nate Oates that much. He also had Brandon Miller who killed a guy. Kind of didn't kill a guy. I can't say that. I probably should cut that. Who cares? No one's gonna. It's Thanksgiving week. But yeah, there's something to be said about Bruce Pearl getting his best team ever in the year that Trump wins his second term. Bruce Pearl, well-known Trump supporter. On Twitter, he does not talk about basketball. Fun times. And then UNC beat Dayton barely. I didn't watch the end of the game because I was tired because it's 6 hours behind us in Hawaii. It basically started after Monday Night Football ended. So it was a late game. It was a good game nonetheless. They barely beat them. Moving on to my other update on soccer real quickly. It's funny that the week that the Wicked movie comes out, the evil wicked witch, bald witch of the Manchester is lost 5 games in a row for the first time in his career as a coach, as a player, and as an assistant coach. It's fun to watch. It's probably because his defense sucks. Fun fact for those listening, the first game they lost in this series of 5 games, lost to Tottenham. Last game they lost was to Tottenham. So I asked our Tottenham Hotspur, correspondent her thoughts on this. And she goes, we own Man City. It's so funny and random. Pep can fucking seethe. And then she went on and said, every time we play Man City, I revel in knowing all 12 of their fans dread it. And so, he's the Wicked Witch of the West is kind of dead. He's, I think, 3rd in the table right now. to Liverpool, who is 8 points ahead in the table. They're at the top of the table. This week is Man City Liverpool, which, oh my, this Saturday I'm going to eat so well this Saturday. And I'm not talking about food. We got great soccer, great college basketball. We have great college basketball today. We'll talk, I should have mentioned that. Great college basketball today. You and I play tomorrow, I think. Yeah, so we'll talk about that at some point. I would say don't have hope. It's like UH playing football. Don't have hope. But yeah, that's the soccer update. Hockey, Sidney Crosby got a 600th goal. Good for him.
Big.
Great for him. There's only 2 games since we last talked for the Maple Leafs. They won both. I'm going to clip this though, because I have a question for our hockey people. I've seen a take online because Austin Matthews has been out for a lot of the season so far. Who's the main guy, or was the main guy? He's the captain for an upper body issue. I don't remember what it is, or I don't know if it's released. There might be Kyle Tucker in it right now. That's a joke. None of them will get maybe. And Tavares and Nylander have been playing exceptionally. They've been leading the team. I have seen it said on Twitter by, I think, some checkmark accounts. So I don't know who this guy is. I just saw he talks about the Maple Leafs and hockey, that they should trade Austin Matthews and get some good pieces for him. Is that a good idea? Is that a horrible idea? What's the idea behind that? It sounds bad to me because if he's the captain, you don't trade the captain. That's like trading Derek Jeter to Kansas City, which he should have been anyway. But I don't know. I don't know. Someone help me out here, please. Also, last thing, McCabe and I think Tanev, the defenders, they have the lowest expected goals in all the NHL when they play together. So good for them. That's my Maple Leafs update.
Avalanche on my side of things. We got destroyed last night. 8-2. Yikes.
Who'd y'all play?
Lightning, I believe.
Okay.
And now we're 12-10, so we're above 500. Nathan McKinnon still leads the team, 35 points. Mikko Rantanen now has 32 points. He kind of came out of nowhere. It was Kale in second place with 30 for the longest time, and now all hell Kale is now still with 30 in third. So we've got 3 people really carrying the squad with over 30 or more points each, and then after that it drops off pretty heavily into like 18, and then drops down to 12, and then just heavy drop off. But I don't know.
Yeah. Again, what's y'all's record now?
12-10.
Okay, so you're still above 500. So maybe a Thanksgiving slump.
We're treading water.
Yeah. Maple Leafs are first in the Atlantic Division of the Eastern Conference. I don't know how playoffs work. That's probably good. If you want to move on to college football, we can talk about playoff implications.
Yeah. What a fun week this was, huh?
Dude, okay, so SEC, everyone's talking about the SEC, the Big Ten. The Big 12 is where the entire story is in my mind. Because right now, there are 4 teams tied at the top. 2 could go to the Big 12 championship game. Also, I want to send a big fuck you to ESPN for putting a graphic up of like who can make the playoffs, and it's like every SEC team, lots of Big Ten teams, some of who aren't even ranked. ACC teams who don't exist basically. And it's like, oh yeah, the winner of the Big 12 championship is the only one, and they don't even have a name on there. So big fuck you. I hated seeing that. That made me angry because my hot take is Big 12 teams could beat ACC teams out the water. SMU doesn't stand a chance. UH just played SMU before. I've seen SMU. That's beside the point. This coming weekend, there are, according to the Big 12, 256 scenarios on who can get ways to get into the Big 12 championship game.
Wow.
They're all tied 6-2. They're all playing opponents who are beatable. BYU's playing Houston. Colorado's playing Oklahoma State. Is it Arizona State's playing Kansas? Or is it someone's playing Kansas State? I can't remember who's playing Kansas State. But it's Iowa State, Colorado, BYU, and Arizona State are the 4 teams in the hunt. They're all 6-2. Theoretically, what will happen most likely is Iowa State and Arizona State win, and all 4 win, but those 2 win. And based upon common opponents, they get into the Big 12 championship, which everyone thought BYU would be there for the entire time. So very interesting stuff. Last thing on the Big 12, Kansas is the bringer of death. They were 1-6 going into this stretch, and they said, "Oh, the easy part has begun." and beat 3 ranked teams, handily as well, might I add. They made Colorado look stupid. Shedeur Sanders pushed a ref. Like, we're not,
Yeah.
that was not,
Yeah.
apparently he won't be fined for it, or like there would be no punishment. There should be. But they made teams look stupid. They are the bringer of death of the entire Big 12. They were the gatekeeper of who gets to go to the championship. So good for them.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago I talked about like Kansas is kind of feisty. They've been playing, not the best ball, but they've always been kind of in it, similar to South Carolina. And feisty Kansas strikes again with Colorado. You're absolutely right. They made them look kind of stupid too. Now there was that cheap shot on Shedeur, but you could it's getting so much attention because it's Shedeur Sanders and it's prime in Colorado and stuff. But it was objectively dirty. But no, feisty Kansas strikes again, man. This has been a crazy last couple of weeks, especially for them, but just across college football in general.
Your boys made another statement game.
Army, baby.
Yeah,
we rolled Army. That was easy. No, the defense is so fucking good, man. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we could ride the defense into making a real run at this thing, dude. Riley Leonard actually looked competent because Army had a good defense. That was the big thing. Army's defense, their offense is going to put up, if they run the triple option, essentially. They're not going to beat you by outscoring you. They're not going to get into a boat race with you. So, but their defense has been clamping them teams down, and then, they score 28-35 or something like that, and it's more than enough. So the fact that we put up 49 points on a very good Army defense, right? I have hope now, man. I have expectations. This is a formula for fucking disaster for me. This is all season on this podcast. I have been fucking ranting and raving about. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not getting my hopes up. Like we'll go to a fun bowl, maybe skirt into the playoffs, and make a decent close game. But we're not going to do anything. And now I'm full blown like, man, all these teams are fucking beatable. The Big Ten's or SEC is eating itself. The Big 12's eating itself. The Big Ten, they've got 3 powerhouses and that's it. And I'm not really worried about Penn State at all. I would love to see Penn State in the first round. Ohio State kind of scares me. Indiana doesn't really scare me. Oh, I guess they've got 4. And then Oregon. I mean, I keep on sitting here and thinking Oregon only won over Wisconsin by 3 points. Mm-hmm. That's not great. So they don't really scare me either. But this is a recipe for disaster and just the soggiest sorrows on a future podcast when we eventually get bounced. But man, I'm in it. And now we got to fuck USC up. We're only 7.5 point underdog or favorites, which kind of scares me. But we gotta take care of business out in California, and then we're off to the playoffs. But if we're a 2-loss independent team, especially to a kind of middling USC and our other loss being NIU, it's winning in if it's losing out.
Yeah, I mean, I think you, are riding high on. If you beat USC, you're definitely in. I think maybe a USC loss could destroy the entire season. Especially, I think the NIU loss still kind of hangs over the head if I'm the playoff committee, which I'm not.
People are big mad about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a weird year in college football where it seems like there's no, like, I don't think Oregon is like this powerhouse team. Like, they look good, but I don't look at them and go like, wow, they're undefeatable. Ohio State's a good team, but they're still not, I don't look at them as being undefeatable. So it's a very weird year where I do think the committee's looking for, okay, who's the least worst we can put in here? And I think the NIU loss hangs over your head, but it's also like a week 3 loss, week 2, 3 loss.
Week 2.
Week 2. So things change. With that said, the SEC is eating itself alive right now, and I am so happy to see it because listen, I'm a Big 12 lover and SEC hater, kind of, and I cannot stand the way the SEC is being treated right now.
Like royalty. It's like, I believe the playoff committee has Alabama at 7. They're a 3-loss team. They should not be in the conversation. They got fucking dog walked by Oklahoma. I'm an Alabama supporter. I went there for a couple of years. They got dog walked by Oklahoma. It was horrible.
What is it? I think Miami lost their first game of the year by 5 to a 7-4 team and dropped, I think, 6 or 8 spots. Alabama just got their 3rd loss of the year and dropped like 6 spots from 7 to 13. because Miami dropped from 4 to 12. And it's like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, Alabama is not a team that should be they should not be in the conversation. There's a world they shouldn't be in the top 25 even. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying there's a world where that happens. There's a world where I go, I mean, really, they should probably be in the 20s. If we're being honest.
I agree with that.
Yeah. If we're being honest, they should be in the 20s. There's a world where they're like 26. I don't think they're going to be like 35. I do think probably, if you made an argument they're 26 to 30, I'm not going to stop you there. I'm going to be like, okay, that's fine. But yeah, no, it's crazy. Also, the SEC, I'm not going to clip this, but let me just read some stats for you. Number 3, Texas will finish with 0 wins over ranked opponents this season. Alabama got blown out by Oklahoma and everyone else. We've talked about including Vanderbilt. Ole Miss just lost to Florida. Georgia struggled for 3 quarters against UMass, which is a bottom 10 team. And all of CFB, they're a bottom 10 team. Tennessee played UTEP, they're a bottom 10 team because, SEC can't play each other every week. And A&M lost to Auburn. And we're not looking at the best here at this point. Like, there's a real argument to be made that the Big Ten is the best football league right now. And I think that is crazy to say in my mind.
Yeah, no, I had one of my notes is the Big Ten because it's so top heavy. That's what, because they have those 4 teams. They have the Oregon, they have Ohio State, they have Penn State, and they have Indiana. That's why I would say they're the best conference on paper, at least. But I mean, Indiana got kind of dog walked by OSU, so it's maybe they only have 3. But also, I don't know, maybe Indiana kind of got ahead of itself or kind of got shot themselves in the foot with nerves, but. I don't know. I think Indiana will be okay, but it's Big Ten might be the best conference because of how top heavy they are, but their bottom side is garbage.
Yeah, no, they're not looking good.
A&M really pissed me off because they were our best victory because we went at their place and didn't dominate them, but we kind of dismantled their offense and made their defense look a little silly for what their defense was supposed to be. And then they go and lose to Auburn, which is just so good for the resume booster. So now our best win is the 49-14 over Army, which Army has had a phenomenal season. Yeah. So at least unless they really fuck up this week and then really fuck up Army-Navy week. Well, Army-Navy week, that's a beautiful part. We beat both. So either way.
Yeah. Theoretically, I think Army-Navy doesn't count either. Like, from everything I've read, Army-Navy doesn't when they were talking about like playoff stuff and the theory that they were both somehow going to make it, possibly in the playoffs.
They wouldn't knock each other out.
Well, it wouldn't count. Yeah. So it wouldn't count whoever lost that game. Because there was a chance that they would be in the AAC championship and whoever won that mattered. But so I'd imagine if Army gets dog walked by Navy and Army-Navy, the CFB playoff committee is not going to come back and be like, actually, you fools. So that's my understanding. I don't know if that's true still. But that was my understanding of the situation with the playoff committee. But yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be a fun playoff year because we have 12 teams for the first time. At the same time, it's chaos. There's no team I'm looking at. Like, Oregon is obviously undefeated, but I don't look at them and be like, wow, I'd be scared if I were playing them.
They're not how Georgia looked 3 years ago where people were like, no one is stopping this team.
Yeah. Also, to speak on Indiana real quickly, I wanted to root for Indiana, but I saw so many people who I agree with going like, okay, they're going to lose by 21. And I was like, oh, you're right, but I don't want to believe it yet. And then they got dog walked again. So, I mean, maybe Indiana got ahead of itself. It's a top heavy league. Also, I saw a graphic. I knew how many teams there were in the Big Ten. Like, we all do. But sometimes when you see it visualized, you're like, there's just too many teams here. There's just too many teams in the Big Ten. There are too many bad teams you can play every week. Like, if your schedule has Maryland on it, and Maryland and like I don't know whoever else at the bottom right, like trying to think Northwestern, yeah. If you have Maryland and Northwestern on your like, okay, you're not playing the top of the top. Like you're in a big good conference. It's just a big conference. That a good conference should be 10 to 12 teams at the most. 12 is already pushing it. You need 10 to 12, but 10 teams is rocked. You should have to play basically everyone, maybe except one team. And that's
I agree.
Whatever. That was college football. College football is interesting this week. We also have a good week this week in college football. Being good.
I have one last note on college football, and that's Texas barely survived Kentucky.
Yeah.
And it looks like Ewers is hurt, so we might see some Manning, and that Texas A&M is sure going to be fun.
Yeah.
it's going to be hyped up because it's the rivalry reborn. But man, these two teams are not at their full strength. If we saw these two teams in their primes in the midway of the season, this game would have been incredible. But I'm glad they saved it to the end. Oh, and this is probably the most. I always remember weekend of Thanksgiving being rivalry weekend, so it's just the most crazy games. There's some good upcoming games. I have 4 good upcoming games, but like, this is kind of meh across the board for some of it. We got 18 South Carolina at 17 Clemson. Should be a good game. Carolina's just fucking sticking around, man. Auburn at Alabama. That's rivalry, and Auburn just beat A&M. So I don't know. Maybe they play spoiler twice in a row. Notre Dame at USC. That's huge for me. And then the big one is Texas at Texas A&M. That's gonna be a fun game for someone that's not going to be emotionally invested and just wants both teams to lose. Yeah,
this is another meteor game for me. I will be happier if Texas wins, only because my hate for Texas A&M. I don't really hate Texas. Like, that's the thing. I've never hated Texas. They just find them somewhat talkative sometimes, and I'm just like, I don't like you people. We have all those games, and then the Big 12 is something I'm going to be looking forward to seeing what happens there. Because there's a good chance one of these teams loses. And then, if Colorado doesn't get to the championship, there's a chance they're in the playoff. Whole thing, I imagine. Last thing on college football, just one of my notes. Ashton Giante probably should be the Heisman favorite. I know Travis Hunter is, but
I think Travis wins.
I think Travis wins. I think he has the media, it's like Oscars, where like if you have enough media behind you, you're gonna win the Oscar. If you have enough people behind you, you're gonna win the Oscar. If you have enough money behind you, you're gonna win the Oscar. Travis Hunter has the entire sports journalism ecosystem behind him. I do think Ashton Giante should be the favorite. He has had a better season. He has had a season that is, one of the best. Probably, maybe I need to look it up. The best rushing season of all time, possibly. Don't know. But Travis Hunter plays both ways, but I don't look at he's not. It's like if Ohtani was a 220 batter and a 6 ERA pitcher. Yeah, that's cool. At the same time, he's not changing the world with his stuff. So that's my only. I won't clip that because I know that will get me destroyed. But I'm looking at a guy. I'm going sure, he should be in the conversation. He's probably at least 2. But Ashton Giante should win. But it's a popularity contest. So we'll see what happens with that. But otherwise, last week of college football, kind of. So, of regular season at least. Stakes are high. It'll be fun.
Going over to the NFL, this time of year is commonly known as cuffing season. But it's also known as the time that some relationships end. Unfortunately, I don't see this breakup happening, even though Bobby has been putting the ick in Slowick. I hate Bobby Slowick, man. I hate Bobby Slowick.
Sorry, that took me a second to get for some reason. CJ Stroud looks defeated.
Yeah, body language looks horrible.
And but I don't even blame him because it's hard to be a good quarterback when you're having, you can't throw downfield if you're so worried someone's about to come kill you. Because the offensive line they keep, the beginning of the season was them penalties upon penalties. They've toned down the penalties somewhat, but at the same time, they're letting the blocking scheme also makes zero sense right now. I don't know if you saw the video on Twitter where it was not Kenyon Green, it was someone else. I can't remember who it was. Titus Howard. Just let a guy, he wasn't blocking anybody. He was just standing there. It's like, hey buddy, go pick up somebody. If your assignment isn't there, you fucked up somehow. So there's there. CJ just can't do it. He can't do what he needs to do. Bobby Slowick is relying on Joe Mixon to an extreme degree. Maybe, hey, what if we run on first and second down? They won't expect us to run on third down too. You can't run every down, guys. It looks, I saw this morning that the UH offensive coordinator was fired.
So excited, dude.
I saw Houston fires. I was like, oh yes, finally. Houston fires offensive coordinator, and then I got to the whoever UH was. I was like, oh cool, awesome. That's fine. It's not like we were going to win the next game anyway. It's like UH had any stakes to this. You fire him in the offseason, guys. It doesn't matter. Whatever. But yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, oh, finally, they finally done it. Not at all. So he's still around.
Yeah, no, I want Slowick gone, but also, almost more importantly, I want the offensive line coach gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
maybe that's our big problem. Maybe that's why. Maybe Slowick's schemes are working, but they're not executing out there. And it starts with the offensive line. They just stink across the board. Yeah. I'm going to say something I never thought I'd say. I miss Kenyon Green because at least our run game was there when he was our left guard, bulldozing people over. He couldn't pass block for shit, and he couldn't stop getting penalties. But my God, we could run the ball. Now that he's gone, oh man, we can't even fucking do that anymore. I think it's 2 days. Well, no. Mixon had a hell of a game against the Cowboys, but besides that, I think it's been 3 down games for Mixon outside of the Cowboys game, and it's outlook bleak, dude. CJ Stroud looks defeated. The body language on the sidelines, you can see Slowick talking to him, and he's just kind of looks like a kid getting lectured, where he's just like, I want to be anywhere else right now. Fuck this guy. You don't know what you're talking about, old man. Slowick's not old, but it's just sad across the board for the Texans right now.
I mean,
and Nico Ryan's throwing the defense under the bus, saying like, no, our offense did enough, our defense didn't do. They got a pick 6.
Yeah.
They had 8 sacks and an interception, and then 3 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. And you're blaming your defense? Insanity. I don't know what fucking dirt Bobby Slowick has on DeMeco Ryan, but they need to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, Will Levis showed some parts of him, like the Brett Favre era of him, where he'll just sling it. He also didn't look good either. I was looking at Will Levis and be like, wow, what an amazing game he's having today. He wasn't having like the most amazing game of all time. It was just, he just kept getting the ball back. And there's a point where you just get the ball back so many times. At some point, if your offensive line is maybe doing something right, unlike the Texans offensive line, you're going to get somewhere. I prompted the question from me: who lets in more guys in their hole, the Texans interior line or the girl in England who gave a 100-guy gangbang? I'd say the Texans interior line at this point. They're actually even more willing somehow. So, and they're, that one you can watch on TV for free. But yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. There's nothing more to say. During the Astros season, we kept saying it's great we're in the AL West because somehow the Astros are almost leading or they're still in the hunt because the AL West is just bad. AFC South, great win the AFC South. We're still winning the AFC South as of right now. Who knows if that will continue? We're still winning right. Yeah,
but the thing is, the Colts are starting to get it together. Yeah, they lost to the Lions, but they lost. They didn't lose to the Lions like the Titans did. They didn't lose to the Lions like the Jaguars did.
Sorry, the Lions released a TikTok after they beat the Colts.
Phenomenal.
This is our Colts. This is our team. We lose. I lost it there. I was like, that's so good. But yeah, no. I mean, the Lions are the best team in football. Like, fine.
Yeah, they're the best team in football.
We lost to the Lions too. Like, you should lose to the Lions. That's kind of the point at this point.
We lost on a last-second field goal. So
yeah.
That makes it a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, they were getting murdered.
Quality losses don't mean shit in the NFL.
Yeah. There's no cute, quad 2 losses in the NFL like there are in college basketball. So it just looks bad. I am not looking forward to the rest of the season. We both came in with such high hopes for this season. And there are still points of this season where it looked good. It's just the offense just can't get a single thing going. Like Joe Mixon has gotten this far despite the fact that Bobby Slowick is, pounding him the entire game. With an offensive line who also cannot block.
Does not do it. Yeah. Going across the league, we might have been a little bit too early with crowning the Commanders as being a good football team. Might have been just a tad bit early. Now, this is not a shot at Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is great. He's going to be phenomenal. He's, I think, in my opinion, the second best quarterback with this rookie class. But the Commanders themselves, it might have been a couple games too early before we decided, like, man, this is a really good team. And I know I've been pretty outspoken about the Commanders and saying, like, man, they can really get it together. Losing to the Cooper Rush Dallas Cowboys is a pretty big, and at home, is a pretty big indictment that you're not really there yet.
Yeah, the game was okay. Like, the thing with Commanders is no one expected them to be good this season. They're not going to be an overnight success. They need help. No one looked at the Commanders this season and said, oh, they're going to win it. I mean, people probably looked at Jaden Daniels and was like, oh, he's not going to do well. The fact that Jaden Daniels is here at all, it speaks to Jaden Daniels, and also the fact that the Commanders have improved somewhat. So yeah, it's not time to panic. I think we were very happy to see that the Commanders were doing something right, especially with the quarterback we seem to like, who everyone seems to like. So there's no reason to push the alarm button like the 49ers right now. It's whatever.
I have a quick comp for the Commanders.
Okay.
They are this year's Texans. Rookie quarterback coming in, team with very little expectations. Everyone kind of rooting for this quarterback. Now we finished pretty strong last year, but yeah, man, they're the surprise team in the NFC, just like we were the surprise team in the AFC. I don't think they're going to win their division because the Eagles are fucking good. The Eagles are good. I hate Sirianni though. I don't know what's happened. I felt nothing to Sirianni, but since this year, just seeing him on prime time and just seeing that fucking mug of his, I despise him now.
He's also turned it like he can bring his daughter to press conferences now and actually look like a normal human being. I was going to say real quickly, Jaden Daniels, don't go on podcasts this summer. Please don't go on podcasts. Apparently, that was the worst thing you can do after your freshman season, because that's all CJ Stroud did this season was talk about football. I wonder somewhat if that actually has hurt him, where everyone kind of understands the way he thinks now, which is not a good thing. So Jaden Daniels, don't go on any podcast. Go on the Angel Reese's podcast or anything. Don't go on any sports podcast. Just don't join
Micah Parsons for a fucking media tour.
No, don't go to Korea everywhere they went. I think they went to Korea or Japan and
Korea.
Yeah, don't do that. Just stay in Washington D.C. All right, stay there. Don't leave your house. Watch your iPad on like Johnny Manziel and have a good sophomore season. Because it looks like the Commanders are actually going to try next season. After realizing, we can try this season too.
Speaking of sophomore season turnarounds, though, Bryce Young. Bryce Young is these past couple of games since he's started to go back. He's kind of turned it up.
Yeah.
Now the Panthers aren't going to do anything. They're not going to go on a run of it. But this should be like upside heavy for Panthers fans. Like he's starting to look real. It's looking like actually sitting back and learning and not throwing your quarterbacks to the fucking flame is working out there in Carolina. They're several years away from competing in the NFC. I don't know. Maybe not several years. Maybe just a couple away from competing for the NFC South, because the NFC South is kind of a dumpster fire outside of the Bucks. But yeah, man, we could be sitting here a couple of years from now going, wow, Panthers really kind of turned it around.
Yeah.
This could all be nonsense in 2 games when they just collapsed. But they took the Chiefs to the wire, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, he looks good when he's throwing now. He looks confident again after whenever Andy Dalton came in the season. He looked defeated. He looks confident finally. He looks good. He looks like he's not rushing himself. I think there's hope for Bryce Young yet. He'll probably start again next season, which I'm glad for. I become a big Bryce Young defender. There's not much to defend sometimes, but just because I want him to succeed, because the Panthers organization is it's where when the Browns were the organization quarterbacks went to die. Carolina is now the organization where people go to die, except then they go to other teams and rock, like Baker Mayfield, by the way, who murdered the Giants.
Bucks look good. Bucks look good. It looks like their division it's their division to lose. I'm officially putting that down. It's their division to lose.
Yeah, I mean, they should be. I think we made fun of the NFC South a lot in our preview. Yeah. And we were like, this is the worst team, we've ever seen. No, he made the Giants look like Jimmy Hoffa, as in buried under the Meadowlands. And it was great. He also, made fun of Italians. Good for him. It's the last race we can all be like, hey, let's make fun of them.
I have a critique.
Okay.
He was too quick. He was a
little too quick.
There should have been a couple of these and that was it. But he was like,
he was really excited. He was like jacking off the air, or jacking off the chicken cutlets. He was just really too excited. I think he won. He was like, "Yo, fuck you!" For some reason, I don't know what the Giants have ever done to him, other than be bad at football, which it's an atrocity to all of us. But, but yeah, good for him. Just speaking of quarterbacks, real quickly, I want to highlight a few things. One, Sean Payton. I like to continue my apology tour because I saw a stat, and this stat is this. So this is Bo Nix in this chart. QBs with 20 plus total touchdowns and 2 or fewer turnovers in a 10-game span within a season. This list has Mahomes, it has Brady, it has Rodgers. Who's on this list for 2 years?
Breeze.
Drew Brees. After Sean Payton, whenever he said, and I said this last week, whenever he said Bo Nix is the next Drew Brees, I was like, you idiot. Turns out I should never be an NFL head coach or a scout or anything, because he has proven me so wrong. So thanks, Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix looks phenomenal. I'm happy for Bo Nix. I did not think he was going to make it. It's a good year for Bo Nix. Good on the Broncos. Oregon's doing well. Good for him. Second quarterback note. In cartoons, whenever you hit someone's head like once and they go dizzy, and you hit them again, they're back. Mm-hmm. I think Tua's done that. I think I figured out the medical mystery of concussion. Just keep hitting them in the head, and someone it all gets better.
Factory reset.
Factory reset. He's not even throwing to Tyreek or anyone. He's not throwing. I think he's throwing to Jalen Waddle. He's not really throwing to like his main guys. He's just having fun out there. Mike McDaniel is back. The Dolphins are back. Tua is back. Tua reinstated. We're all back on that. I'm excited to see about. I don't know. I was gonna try to think of another one, but yeah, Tua is back.
Yeah, they look good. They're gonna the Bills have a pretty big lead, so I don't think they're gonna lose the AFC East division. I think it's their division to have, unless the Bills just historically collapse like the Eagles did last year. Yeah. But the Dolphins could squeeze into a wild card spot real quick. And they're dangerous. And now I was kind of like, Dolphins without Tua in a couple weeks. Texans should win that at home. I'm fucking horrified.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I think they're gonna kill the Texans. Because the thing with the Dolphins is they play quickly, so they get off the field quickly enough. Well, the Texans are going to do the same thing, but not because they play quickly, just because they're that bad. They're going to use enough 3-and-outs. Like Tommy Townsend is getting a lot of work done this year. This probably actually, I need to look this up. Is this the most he's ever kicked in the season? Maybe. Who knows?
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot. As Pat McAfee once said, and at the draft, we did not punt much against the Titans. I don't believe Tommy Townsend punted much when he was on the Chiefs. So make your money, King.
My last NFL note is 49ers are dead. 49ers are dead. I know Kittle didn't play, and I know Purdy didn't play. Somehow they're still in the running for the NFC West because that division is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But 49ers look fucking dead.
Yeah, I mean, I saw someone say, they should fire Kyle Shanahan. The thing with Kyle Shanahan...
Kyle Shanahan would have a new job before the 49ers finished firing him.
Yeah.
He would have a new job.
Kyle Shanahan has a new job right now. Like, there's probably 6 offers he has right now. Just like, hey, by the way, if they fire you, just call me. Yes. Oh, no. I mean, he and D'Amico already have somewhat of a connection.
Pump D'Amico down to DC. Yeah. Pump D'Amico down to DC and let Shanahan take over.
Hey, let's do this. All right.
They went to Super Bowls together.
Let's do this. Shanahan comes in as OC for.
That's fine too, I guess.
No, he comes in for OC for the remainder of the season, so we don't mess up the power structure. Okay. Then next season, there's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris switch of power, and next thing you know, he's the head coach. D'Amico's DC, and they hire a new offensive coordinator, or we just let Kyle Shanahan call the plays.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And clock management, so no, there we go. D'Amico Ryan can be the head coach.
He can.
All offensive play decisions and all offensive decisions, personnel and everything go to Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Clock management and personnel decisions go to Kyle Shanahan. That's fine. That's fine. Balance. What is it? Checks and balances.
This sounds like we're setting up like a 1600s puppet state colony, where like D'Amico Ryan is just like taking orders from Kyle Shanahan, except for like when he kind of knows things.
It's fine. Listen, divide and conquer. No real head coach. No head coach. Just DCs and OCs.
The McNair started studying like British history to figure out how to set up a good puppet state on another continent. So except they're in the same building. Yeah, I listen. I'm not against. Now I need to start pushing for Kyle Shanahan to get fired. Like, I think there's a non-zero chance he shows up here.
I think there's one head coach for sure that comes to mind that you don't fire Shanahan for, and that's Andy Reid.
No.
I think there's 30. There's
Dan Campbell. Dan
Campbell. Yeah. Okay. Dan Campbell. So I think there's 28 jobs that if the 49ers let him go, I think there's 28 jobs he could call a team and they'd be like, yes, done.
I mean, if I'm the Bears, I fire Eberflus today.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Before, as soon as the news breaks, the Bears call Shanahan and just like, whatever you want forever.
We'll let you be mayor. We'll let you give you whatever you want. Yeah.
Whatever you want forever.
Yeah. We'll let you choose the new site of the Bears Stadium. You can live there, like the Toronto Blue Jays Stadium. We'll give you a house there. We'll give you equity, unlike Caleb Williams. So I don't know if he actually got equity, but still. Yeah, no, I'd happily take that every day.
Yeah, that's my last NFL notes, though.
Yeah, NFL. I mean, that's my last notes. It was a good week. It was a sad week for some of us, Texans fans, but a week nonetheless. And we move on to next week. We then move on to 3 Thursday games this week.
Yeah. Are you ready to do the picks, or do you?
Yeah. So I totally didn't have time to look at my old picks. So next week we're gonna figure out what I am right now. I did not do well last week. I know that.
I'm 105 and 79.
Okay.
So
okay.
I went 7-5 last week. Let's start off with the Thursday games. Kicking off early is the Bears Lions. Okay, Lions. Giants Cowboys.
I'm going to go Cowboys here. I don't love it, but I'm going Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys, too. This is that fight that I told you that I can't say on the podcast.
Yeah.
Dolphins-Packers. It's going to be a great game. A couple weeks ago, it didn't look like that, but now it is.
Dolphins. I have to choose the Dolphins.
Going Packers because they're at home.
Yeah.
Raiders-Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah. Texans-Jaguars.
I'm going Jaguars, honestly.
I'm going Jaguars. Dude, I it's so bad, man.
I feel nothing.
So bad. Colts Patriots.
Colts. This is our team. Colts is our team. We bleed blue.
Patriots. Chargers Falcons.
I'll give me Chargers look good last time. Give me the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers. Seahawks Giants.
Give me Seahawks.
Wait.
No. Nope. Who do the Seahawks play this week?
Who do the Giants play? Or who do the Seahawks play?
Yeah, see, because the Giants play on Thanksgiving. So
Thanksgiving, yeah.
Oh, they play the Jets.
Jets, okay. Oh, so I had the wrong New York team. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't change my answer.
Yeah, no, I'm still going Seahawks. So actually, even more, I'm going Seahawks.
Kind of. Titans Commanders.
Give me Titans.
Give me Titans.
Yeah, I know.
Steelers Bengals.
Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Cardinals Vikings.
Have to do it. Cardinals.
Vikings. Rams Saints.
Give me the Rams here.
Give me the Rams.
Yeah.
Bucks Panthers.
Bucks.
Eagles Ravens.
Ravens. I'm going Ravens.
I'll go Eagles. Eagles. 49ers Bills. Broncos Browns.
Oh, Bronco country. Let's ride, huh? Broncos.
I can't go against James Winston. Give me the Browns.
Okay. I can't go against Bo Nix now. I really like Bo Nix.
Yeah, that's fair. I totally get it. My Jameis love is probably blinding me, but that's okay. Yeah. I'm about it. It's fine.
I mean, he was infatuated with the snow this past week.
That game was so fun. That was a bad game. The other game was fun.
He had the childlike wonder of seeing snow for the first time, which I understand. I love Jameis so much.
All right, going on my side of the things, I went 6-1 last week, so perfect 500. Can't get more 500 than that. Quite a few overs, but I threw in an under, which is unprecedented.
Really?
Yeah. So Bears Lions over 48.5, Cowboys minus 4.5, Dolphins Packers over 47, Chiefs minus 13, Seahawks minus 2, Jaguars plus 4.5, Titans Commanders over 44.5, Commanders Vikings over 45.5, excuse me. Steelers plus 3, Patriots plus 3, Chargers minus 1.5, Bucks Panthers over 46.5, Rams Saints under 48.5, Eagles Ravens over 50, Bills minus 6.5, and Browns plus 5.5. Let's have a week. It's going to be fucking chaos.
There we go, boys. Anything else from you this week, Brian?
Yeah, I missed one note on the NCAA, and that is I returned to form. After a couple good weeks, I returned to form. I went 4-13.
Okay. Awesome. I have one other thing this week. It was a big thing in my life this week. The Costco dad, AJ, Big Boom AJ, wrestled in a professional wrestling match.
Broke his foot.
with a broken foot, just like Kurt Angle won an Olympic gold medal with a broken neck. Costco Dad won a match with a broken foot. It was fun to watch. The Rizzler was there. The Rizzler got a huge ovation. I love that kid's. My girlfriend's very confused why I'm infatuated with a 7-year-old. I'm like, he's my favorite 7-year-old in the world.
Off topic real quick. Did you see when one of the Costco boys called the Rizzler by his Christian name?
Oh yeah,
he turned looked at him like a fucking mob boss. Like,
oh yeah, he's
like, you're done. I'm gonna take you out back. Pop. That's it.
He was like, I enjoyed you, Big Justice. I'm sorry I have to do this.
It's over.
I love that guy. So I love the entire thing. Costco guys are like, I mean, they're weird, but like, I don't know. It's a sweet weird. Like, this kid's got to get a spear in the ring against a professional wrestler. Got a huge cheer.
It's rare to see parent-child content creators where it doesn't feel like the kid is getting exploited.
Yeah. The kid is having a great time, honestly. It seems like the Costco Dad's getting to live his dream. He gets to be a professional wrestler. I saw something he's going to do more matches when he comes back. So I don't know. I'm happy. I just love that the Rizzler got a huge ovation. And then when they asked him to ring the bell, he's not ringing the bell. He was doing that the entire, he just wouldn't ring the bell. He was just spamming his emote. So I loved it. It was a fun, it's what this country's about. Honestly, this is the beauty of the country. Last week we talked about everyone wanting to kill Jake Paul. This week it's like a beauty. We get to see a 7-year-old, this 7-year-old who is famous for just doing a face online. We're like, this kid rocks. So I don't know. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful way to start Thanksgiving. Brian, speaking of Thanksgiving and giving thanks, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Org Polaris across all social medias, especially twitch.tv/Org Polaris, AURICPOLARIS. Damn. Gets caught there every single time. I am not streaming this week. I won't have the time, unfortunately, but next week I'm going to start hitting it pretty hard. Jordan, where can the people find you? You
can find me at Jordan Stotts on Twitter, and you can then find me at Moonstamp on every platform. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and there's another one that I'm forgetting.
YouTube.
Yes. Did I say YouTube? I don't know.
You might have said YouTube.
All the big ones you're thinking. I didn't say Twitter. I don't think. Or X. Not on Blue Sky because I realized not worth it. This doesn't seem like a place where we can post anything. But thank you guys so much for listening. This is going to be out on a Wednesday just because, and you're listening to that just because we didn't want to come out on Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. Have a wonderful, wonderful college football weekend, college basketball weekend, the sports weekend. We will see you all next week.
Stay beautiful.